Have you ever closed your bedroom door, taken a deep breath, and enjoyed a few minutes where nobody could interrupt you? It feels so ordinary that most of us never stop to think about it. But for nearly all of human history, that simple experience didn't exist. Imagine spending every hour of every day surrounded by the same small group of people. You hunted together, gathered food together, slept together, raised children together, and faced every danger together. There were no bedrooms, no hallways, no locked doors, and certainly no place where you could disappear for a while. If you suddenly vanished from the group, it wouldn't take long before someone noticed. So how did ancient humans ever find a moment alone? The surprising answer isn't that they built secret places or invented clever hiding spots. Instead, they relied on something far more powerful: shared social understanding. For most of the last 300,000 years, humans lived as hunter-gatherers in small bands that usually included somewhere between 15 and 50 people. Archaeologists and anthropologists believe these groups moved frequently in search of food, carrying only what they could transport. Their shelters were temporary and simple, often made from branches, animal hides, or natural rock overhangs. Inside these shelters, personal space was almost non-existent. Families slept close together because body heat helped everyone survive cold nights, and remaining near the group reduced the risk of predators or unexpected attacks. Staying together wasn't just convenient, it dramatically increased the chances of survival. In that world, isolation wasn't peaceful. It was dangerous. This creates an interesting question. If everyone was always nearby, what happened when someone wanted to have a private conversation, argue with a partner, or simply sit alone with their thoughts? Modern studies of hunter-gatherer societies suggest that privacy was rarely created by physical barriers. Instead, it was created by behavior. Communities developed unwritten customs that everyone understood without needing to explain them. If two people quietly walked beyond the edge of camp to collect firewood or check animal traps, others often recognized that they wanted a little space. Nobody needed to announce it, and nobody felt the need to follow. Privacy wasn't about building walls, it was about respecting invisible boundaries. Darkness also played an important role. Before electric lights, nighttime transformed the world. Once the fire burned low, visibility dropped dramatically. Beyond the glow of the flames, shapes disappeared into the darkness. Someone sitting only a short distance away could become almost impossible to see. Ancient people likely used these moments naturally, not because darkness guaranteed secrecy, but because it reduced attention. The night offered something close to privacy, even if everyone remained nearby. It wasn't perfect, but for thousands of generations, it was enough. Even the simplest daily activities depended on mutual respect. Think about something as ordinary as using the bathroom. There were no toilets, no bathroom doors, and no plumbing. Evidence from traditional hunter-gatherer societies suggests that people usually walked a short distance away from camp, often choosing areas downwind or farther from sleeping spaces. Others generally avoided disturbing them. This wasn't because anyone physically prevented them from looking. It was because communities learned that certain moments deserved quiet respect. In many ways, this invisible agreement functioned much like modern social etiquette. We don't stare at strangers in changing rooms, and we don't invade someone's personal space in public unless necessary. Those instincts may have roots stretching back much farther than we realize. Perhaps the biggest difference between ancient humans and us wasn't the lack of walls, it was the meaning of being alone. Today, solitude often feels relaxing. We seek it after stressful days, close our doors, put on headphones, and enjoy silence. But in prehistoric environments, silence could be unsettling. If you couldn't hear the voices of your group, something was wrong. Being separated from others increased the risk of injury, getting lost, or encountering predators without help. Evolution likely shaped our ancestors to feel safer in the presence of familiar people rather than isolated from them. What we now call personal space may have mattered far less than staying connected to the group. Everything slowly began to change around 10,000 years ago when agriculture spread across different parts of the world. Farming encouraged people to remain in one place instead of constantly moving. Permanent villages replaced temporary camps. Houses became sturdier. Walls appeared, followed eventually by separate rooms, doors, and later even private bedrooms. These changes happened gradually over thousands of years, and for much of history, only wealthy families enjoyed true privacy. In many farming communities, entire families still shared a single room while sleeping. The idea that every person might have a bedroom, or even expect complete privacy, would have seemed extraordinary to most people who lived before the modern era. Ironically, the same inventions that gave us privacy privacy also changed the way we experience human relationships. Today, many people spend entire evenings alone behind closed doors, communicating through screens instead of face-to-face conversation. Researchers around the world continue to study rising levels of loneliness despite people having more personal space than any previous generation in history. Ancient humans experienced the opposite reality. They had almost no privacy, but they were rarely isolated. Every meal, every challenge, every celebration, and every loss was shared with others. Their lives were deeply connected because survival demanded cooperation. So, how did ancient humans get time alone? The honest answer is that they rarely experienced complete solitude the way we do today. Instead of relying on walls, locks, or separate rooms, they created moments of privacy through trust, social customs, distance, darkness, and mutual respect. Their communities understood when not to interrupt, when to look away, and when to give someone emotional space without physically leaving them alone. Perhaps that's the biggest lesson hidden in our past. Privacy was never simply about being separated from people. It was about feeling respected by them. Somewhere along the path from campfires to cities, we mastered the art of closing doors. But in doing so, we may have forgotten something our ancestors understood remarkably well, that sometimes the greatest sense of security comes not from being alone, but from knowing that the people around you are always there when you need them.